Hey everybody, so welcome to our first Q&A call of our Vision 2020 Babes group. Like, show me in the chat, I love a live chat. Is this group so far being helpful for you? All I know is that I'm still on cloud 9 after that call last Monday. I've watched it 3 times myself, and if you haven't checked it out, strongly suggest that you do it. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we had that first tier come and go, right? By November 8th, you needed to sponsor a coach to get that sleeve for the Shaker Cup. And then quickly behind that, on this Friday, we have the second tier deadline, which is Hit Success Club by Friday. So that's the 15th of the month, and you get the Shaker Cup to put in the sleeve that you got. Now, some of you may have not hit that tier 1. Here's the deal. You got to brush it off and you got to keep going, because this business requires that strength and that skill every single week, every single month, every single year. There's going to be moments where you smash goals, moments where you don't hit goals, and you got to learn how to be resilient. You got to learn that was just a carrot that we were dangling, but it doesn't represent your value. It doesn't dictate your success, and you have to keep on moving for you and for your families and for those visions that we cast last Monday. So are we all in accordance with that? That is so important. We keep moving forward. What you want to do is you want to start using that tracker. If you haven't already, you have to have dropped it in that thread, because you guys, that's where the magic of the business lies. It's in the consistency in doing the tracker, doing the daily activity. So make sure we're doing that. All right, you guys, it's time to get started. We have a ton of questions, and I'm the unofficial official host of the Q&A. I have all of the questions that were posted in our thread right here. Of course, there's common themes. So we're going to take it in order from what I believe is the precursor to the big ticket item for the Q&A, which is onboarding new coaches. Can we agree that that is the Achilles heel? That is the thing that we all want to hear. We want to learn from Jenelle and Holly and myself on that topic, which I'm sure will come will be part of every Q&A that we host in this group. It's going to be always a common thread, and that's what this business is. It's just about learning, adjusting, and adapting. So before we get into that, which I think is a huge part of this call, let's start talking about prospecting, because we can't onboard without having new coaches. And so I am going to ask, let's see, who am I going to ask first? Let's ask Jenelle. Jenelle, when you're using Instagram, how do you go about prospecting? How are you inviting? Are you doing cold invites? Are you developing a relationship before you get to the invite? And when you do that, how do you transition from having a conversation to asking them about the business or about your challenge group?
Okay, well, great question. And I am not one to do cold invites. So the people that I'm inviting to the business, first of all, I am not one to go for inviting for the discount. When I'm inviting to the business opportunity, it's for the business opportunity. Now, that doesn't mean I won't mention the discounts, especially if they're on the fence and yet they already love Shakeology, or they're already a fan of Beachbody or whatever, and they're just not sure about coaching. Then yes, I will mention the discounts and the fact that if they love Shakeology or our nutritionals, that it's a no-brainer. But for the most part, I am looking for business builders, and so that's what I'm going for. And I don't do a cold invite for that. So I'm constantly looking to build new relationships on Instagram and on Facebook. And so I'm constantly doing polls, and they might be just completely silly polls that have nothing to do with the business, but I'm always looking for every single way possible to start new conversations with as many people as possible. So in doing that, I'm starting to build relationships. Now, a lot of people, or some people in the group, had asked, like, how are you tracking all these people that you're building relationships with? I personally, and again, this is just what I personally do, not that anyone needs to do this, but I start tracking people once I've done an invite. That's when they go on my list for tracking, is once I've planted a seed, then I start tracking them. Now, I do also do this, and this is important. I also have what's called an Instagram, are they called collections? it's been a while since I've trained on it, but the collections in Instagram where you create these albums basically, and you categorize them any way you want. For me, I have a category called Challenge Group Potential. I have another category called Coach Potential. And so when I'm talking to someone where we've been building this relationship and it's just, there's not been an opportunity to talk about, to plant that seed yet for the business opportunity, then I will save them to my Coach Potential collection. And for a lot of those people, I'm waiting for them to post stories or, wall posts or something, where I can continually connect with them on that post. And so I'll check on the weekends for those people, because most people who aren't working this business, they're typically not posting a whole lot during the week. From what I've found, they post on Saturdays and Sundays, like something fun they're doing with their family or whatever, and same with stories. And so I go to that Coach Potential collection and I'll comment and compliment and DM on those types of things. So I'm always just starting those conversations and listening for clues in what they do for a living and what they do for their workouts and all those things where I can say, have you ever considered doing what I do?
That's an awesome tip, by the way, you guys. Like, I have heard about doing the collections and I haven't done it. I use the flagged feature in my...
I use that flag too.
Yeah, in my stories. And then I kind of just every week, every couple of days, I go back and I just pick up conversations where they left off from my flags. But I love the collections tip. That's amazing. Thank you, Jenelle. That's very helpful. For me, I'm a big attraction marketing person. For the last 9 years, that's how I've run my business. The way I see it is I try to add so much value on the front end that when, I do polls a lot, I do drop email a lot in my stories, I already have that trust, factor built in. I do understand that for new coaches, it's not the same. They do have to do the work and actually initiate conversations. However, if you can start right away, whether you're, if you're a fairly new coach, I see Rachel, I see some top leaders on this call that probably can go there already, where they're sharing so much value that they earn the right to have people reach out to them. I feel like that's where a lot of like the top leaders are. But as a new coach or a fairly new coach, if you can really, really hone in on the way that you share stories, on the value that you're adding on your, 1, 2, 3 Instagram posts a day, and then on the back end in your Instagram stories, you're going to be developing the future potential of your business that way, right? So don't underestimate that. Don't just throw up anything just because you have a quota to fill. Really hone in on your value, because that in the long run, when you do reach the 5-star, and up, where you're considered and you're viewed as a leader in the company, people are going to come to you, and man, that's the best feeling in the world. So as a new coach, start there. Start with the connections, but also adding value. Okay, that was my 2 cents there. Holly, I'm going to ask you, because specifically you were asked about your free coaching group and how you run that. So if you can share a little bit on that.
Yes, this is so funny. I get asked this question all the time, and everyone's like, it's some big secret. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna figure this out and I'm gonna recruit all the coaches in the world. And you guys, it's so simple. It's all, first off, it's just branding. It's branding. Everything that we do in this business is branding, because as coaches, we all do the exact same thing. We post our workouts. We're all doing pretty much the same workouts. We're all following the same meal plans. We're all recruiting coaches, and we're all recruiting challengers. Our basic activities are exactly the same. So I will first say a lot of this is branding. And so as you're building your business, think about that. What is your brand? What does attraction marketing mean within your brand, right? So, okay, so this, I call it my girl boss apprenticeship, or when I talk about it on stories, I say, do you want to try out coaching for free? No risk, no sign up. You get to do what I do and see if this is for you. So what it is a 5-day kind of free group. There's 2 parts to it. First, I run it just like I'd run a free accountability group. Every morning they show up And I use the Vimeo link. Actually, this is the first time I've used the Vimeo link. Normally I have them sign up for the 3-month trial, Beachbody On Demand, and I give them like a workout calendar. So you can do it either way. Having them sign up for the 3 months is nice because now they are your customer, right? So that is what I had everyone do, sign up for the free 14-day trial. But this actual one that I'm running this week, I just posted the Vimeo links, like the different workouts. So like today was Morning Meltdown 100, then we have Transform 20. So I run it on Facebook. They check into the Facebook group, do their workout in the morning, post their sweaty selfie and what they thought of the workout. Nothing different than a normal accountability group. But these potential coaches are now getting a taste of our workouts and they're getting a taste of our community. The second part is every single day for the 5 days, myself or another leader on my team will go live with like a mini coach training. So today's coach training was sharing, not selling. So we talked about how we are sharing on social media, again, using attraction marketing. We're not posting pictures of Shakeology and all that salesy stuff. And that's how we're attracting people to us. The key is though, we then give them coaching activities to do every day. So today, those sweaty selfies they posted this morning, they were then asked to post those on their social media and post why they're doing this. Why not, and they don't have to post about coaching, but why are you committing to 5 days to a healthier you? No one on social media is going to attack someone else for saying, for the next 5 days, I'm getting healthy. They're not coaches. They have nothing to sell. Don't have to talk about coaching or Beachbody at all. All they're doing is telling their social media that, hey guys, I'm going to focus on getting healthy and I could use your support. Now we have potential coaches already posting to social media and already getting support from that outside world. And that is really the whole point of the Girl Boss Apprenticeship. So the next day, I'm trying to think of our activity. So we have them post to social media. The next day will be reaching out and just thanking those people who supported them on the post. So now they're reaching out, they're seeing how they're connecting. The next day will be adding to your network. You know, what are the objections we get? I don't have enough people in my network. Okay, let me show you how it takes 3 minutes to add 25 people to your Facebook network. All of a sudden, they see how quickly they can start adding. The 4th day we do, so the next Monday, so our group's Monday through Friday. The next Monday, we run a 1-day free group. It's like a free water and workout challenge. Again, we just post a Vimeo link. It's a water. But what we have them do, we have them start inviting people. So they're inviting people to a free group. So now all those people that they said, thanks so much for supporting me, they can now go back to and say, hey, listen, I appreciate your support so much. I'm actually going to do a 1-day challenge. Just water, just workout. Do you want to try one of these workouts with me? Now our potential coaches are inviting. And then Friday, and then one of the days they're like going and love bombing the people they've added. They're like loving on their pages. So they're seeing how they're going to start relationships without just going in and cold marketing people, right? So liking, commenting on photos. So just really simple activities, but the activities that build our business, we are now getting potential coaches to do. So that's it. So again, it is workouts in the morning. In the afternoon, we just have a live training from one of us. We tell our stories and then give them an actionable activity to do. And then Saturday, we post like a little motivational video in there, like, you know, get past the fear, motivate them. And Sunday, we do a live Q&A with them. And then again, that next Monday will be the free group. So I do find that these groups convert really well. One thing I will say is I do not run them monthly, and I do not run them monthly for a reason. You guys may have seen me on the Champions page where I say, like, I run a sneak peek every single week. Totally true. My sneak peek's actually now on a website, but same premise of I'm inviting every single day. Every single day I have somewhere to add them. This though is a little different. This, again, because of the marketing, I don't want people thinking they can do this all the time. This is something special. This is an opportunity for them. So the beginning of this year, I was running them quarterly. I've started running them kind of every other month, but I really, again, I look at what is going on. So right now we're running one this week. So next week, too close to Thanksgiving, we want to get one in November. And then our next one will align kind of with the new year, right? Like into December, let's kick off your business, new year type push. So look at that. Think about that. Again, think about your brand, think about marketing. But this isn't something I would suggest running every single week because it kind of loses its shine. You know, you want to be able to say like, listen, do you want, I don't do this all the time, right? This is a super special opportunity to try something. So hopefully that helped.
Yeah, totally. Total gold. And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to execute on this myself. Jenelle and I were like, yes, amazing, super creative and brilliant. The next question kind of flows into both what you and Jenelle just talked about, and it's how to attract business builders. So Jenelle, if you can kind of tee that one up, and then I think Holly answered a lot of that question right now by hosting this group, but if there's anything else you can add, Jenelle.
Oh gosh, how do you follow that brilliance? No, that was awesome. Okay, how do you attract business builders? I think honestly, and I said this in the National Wake Up Call recently. I think it's about, number one, talking about the business like really regularly. You don't need to be salesy about it or pushy about it, but just a lot of mention of the business, what you love about it, why you're doing it. But also I think it comes down to just, talking to great people, the type of people that are your tribe, the type of people that care about themselves, they care about other people, they have good integrity, they have class, all these things, the people that you would want to associate with, the type of people you'd want to be friends with. When a coach says to me, I don't know if I really want to follow these people, I'm like, well, there's a red flag. Because if you don't want to follow these people, you certainly don't want to work with these people, and you certainly don't want them on your team. So there's a red flag right there. If you aren't looking at people and connecting with people that you really would be like, I don't even care if she ever becomes a customer of mine or a coach of mine, I just think she's freaking cool. Like, I just want to seriously, connect with this person. Those are the type of people that you need to be connecting with. And so it starts with, talking to great people. And once you're in those conversations with those people, really honing in on what does this person want? When it comes right down to it, what do they want? What are they struggling with? Because in our adult lives, we get into this habit of just suppressing everything. Everything's going to be fine. I'm just going to repeat again tomorrow everything I just did today, and I'm fine. And when it comes right down to it, a lot of these women we're talking to, they're working too many hours, or they're not getting paid enough, or they're not seeing their kids enough. And they literally have taken all those thoughts and feelings and suppressed them and said, I'm fine. It's going to be okay. This is adulting. But when you really start having conversations and listening to what they're saying, and then really start digging deeper and peeling back those layers, you understand there's some deep-rooted struggles there that they've never allowed to come out. And once you can get down to some of those things, you understand that when you've got someone that has a why, a really strong why, they are willing to be a business builder. They're like, just tell me what I need to do and I'll do it.
I was muted. Perfect. I will add this. I believe that attracting business builders begins with you being a business builder.
Yes.
I think that you have to be that person. You have to be the person recruiting coaches. You have to be the one walking the walk and talking the talk. You have to be the one pouring energy into your team that will then result in being able to attract people that want to work this business. I truly believe that it really starts there. And when you look at successful recruiters in the network, they're all the ones showing up in an air of leadership, right? That they're projecting who they want to become. They're projecting where they're taking their team. They're taking their visions and being very bold about sharing that. And that leads into, when you have conversations like Jenelle says, that there's built-in trust. That if they join you, you're going to take care of them because you're doing it yourself. and you're building your own business, and that you're going to be there to support them. So I really do believe that it's literally the $1 million question. Every time there's a Q&A, someone asks, how do you attract business builders? And it really starts with you showing up like one yourself, and then everything starts to kind of fall into place. And understanding this, you guys, that not everyone, you can say that I want to attract business builders all day, but there's going to be a lot of people that come into your team that aren't that at the beginning, that end up becoming one later. So you can't write everybody off. But it at the end of the day, it starts with you. Okay, Holly, do you wanted to add anything there?
Yeah, just really quickly. So totally agree with all of that. And I will say, you know, how Jenelle said, like, find out what it is that they're really struggling with and what you struggled with, right? Like, what was it that, why did you start? And what are the things that you believe this business can solve, and talk about those. And I will add that I was at the Rachel Hollis Rise conference this past weekend, and it was Rise Business. My biggest takeaway was not from one of the speakers. It was from when Rachel Hollis asked these entrepreneurs, she was like, stand up for your business if you are in debt from your business. Stand up for your business if you've had to let people go because you don't have the money to fund your business. Stand up for your business if this is a last ditch effort before you shut down your business. You guys, it was the first time I really looked at other entrepreneurs and I was like, oh my gosh, we pay $15.95 a month to have the opportunity to run freaking $1 million businesses. Like, that is insane. That is insane. And all these people asking all these questions, none of them were the MLM people. It was all these brick and mortar stores and people struggling. I mean, they were talking about revenue and worrying about, you know, putting food in the freaking break room for your employees. I was like, no, I sit at home and I talk to people on my phone. I don't worry about any of that. I pay $15.95 a month. So it was the first time like that realization came to me. And I was like, man, I need to talk about that on social media. I need to talk about this. We are entrepreneurs with an opportunity that's so big. So find those things, right? Again, that just resonated with me this weekend. But find the things that resonate with you, with your avatar, the things that you believe in, the reasons why you do it, and talk about those. Because if they resonate with you and they resonate with your avatar, that's what's going to draw them in. So just that was a quick takeaway I got from the conference this weekend.
Amen, sister. Drop the mic. Awesome. Okay, let's switch gears to time management, biz hours, marketing plans. This was another big chunk of the questions that were dropped. I'll take the first one, which is how to develop a good system when you work long hours. You can't share about your full-time job. How do you take care of your business without burning out? Et cetera, et cetera. So as you guys know, I was an attorney when I started this business. I built to 11-star before I retired from the practice of law, raising 2 little ones with 80-hour work weeks, trying cases, depositions, all of that. And I will tell you that you have to release the expectation that you're not going to have to sacrifice things. You have to release the expectation that everything's going to be perfectly scheduled and perfectly lined up so that you can have your power hours and you can run your business, because that's not reality. I totally believe that in order to build a big business with this opportunity, which Holly, you just took us to church, and I wish more people appreciated what we have here. And I had the opportunity to understand the power of this business early on, and I didn't take it for granted, which was, you guys, you need to sacrifice time. You need to sacrifice. And at the end of the day, you need to prioritize your business, because this is the solution to all the problems we have in life. And if you want to feel less overwhelmed, if you want to have this like easy kind of, skippity hoppity existence, like maybe entrepreneurship is not your jam. Because if I can earn $20,000 a week or whatever it is, I should not expect that this is going to be easy. Or if the potential for that to be my reality, it's not going to be easy. Involve your family, tell them what you're doing, set your goals, share that, and then stop giving up and On top of it, stop complaining about the work to your spouses, because then they're going to not be a supportive spouse if you're constantly complaining about the work it takes to build a business. Does that make sense? If you want them on board, get results and bring them on board. Talk to your kids about what you're doing, and then create buckets, right? What are your priorities? And you live in them. Your family, your kids, your work, your Beachbody business. You live in those buckets. And if you have to sacrifice other things that don't fall into that, so be it, because the trade-off is going to be amazing. The years that I was working, practicing law, raising the babies, and building this business were a blur to me. And I hate to scare people, but they were a freaking blur. I would wake up at 4 a.m. to work out, because back then it was P90X and Insanity, these long ass programs. I hustled a little bit before I took a shower. I hustled on the way to work. I did calls with coaches on my hour commute. I sat in depositions when I shouldn't have, and I did invites. I mean, I just filled in as much as I humanly possibly could, and it paid off, right? So you have to understand that there are seasons in this business. Kim Carver taught me that sometimes you're working at a 9, 10 energy level. Sometimes you're working, because this is life, at a 2, 3, just don't go to 0. And then I heard this at Entre Leadership, because someone used the word burned out. Are you really on fire? Like, ask yourself, are you really on fire? You're not. You're not on fire. Overwhelm is a made up term to keep you from reaching your potential. And you got to just set time every single day to work your business, because consistency is king. Okay, off my soapbox. Anybody want to touch on that one? Holly?
I just add really quickly that I get so many coaches, you know, we talked about attraction marketing, and they're like, oh, but you just have people come to you, and like, it's so easy. So last night I went to bed at 11:30. My 6-month-old woke up at 3 a.m. to nurse, and then back up at 4:30. And I got up at 4:30 to start working my business again before my kids got up at 7. I've been doing this business for 5 years. I've been doing that for 5 years. And like Kristina said, I don't say that to scare anyone, but I say that to say, I started this business working a full-time engineering job. In the last 5 years, I've had 2 babies. I have a toddler and a 6-month-old. It's not easy. We get it. We're tired. We live off Energize. But here's the thing. I don't sleep a lot, and I live off Energize, but I am home with my babies. That to me is worth the sacrifice. And it's not going to be, oh gosh, but I didn't sleep for the 3-month push period while I hit diamond or star diamond. It is just like Kristina said, it is consistency over a long period of time. And yes, it will get easier, but no, you are not going to earn $1 million and work 2 power hours a day. Congratulations, you got up and did a workout, worked an hour in the morning, and worked an hour before your kids go to bed. It's not enough. It's not enough. And I think it's really important. We tell our coaches that too. If they are expecting to build 6-figure, $1 million businesses by working a power hour a day, that expectation is not realistic. And that is also why I find coaches quitting. I'm not seeing success, but are you really working enough? So when my coach is like, but I'm doing what you're doing, I'm like, are you doing what I'm doing? Are you working the hours I'm working, and have you been working them for the last 5 years? How many messages have you sent out? I may have people doing attraction marketing coming to me, but that means I'm messaging with 300 to 500 people a day. That's the truth. So Kristina, I love it because it's so true, and it's so easy to look at people who have seen success and say, well, they just have people come to them. It's really, really easy for them.
I agree 100%. So Jenelle, I'm going to toss this question to you, talking about monthly marketing planning schedules. And then I know you wanted to also address the assistant issue, which I have a funny story about you and I on that.
Oh, really?
Later.
Well, actually, I'll start with the assistant thing, just because we were talking about burnout and working a lot of hours and working full time. And some of you may not know my story, but when I started the business, I was working full time, and I was also working so I had my full time job, and then on the weekends I also helped a local gym for about 15 hours a week. And then on top of that, I taught fitness classes, about 5 a week, usually 6 a.m. classes. So I was working I don't know, 60, 70 hours a week at least, and building this business. And I was going insane, like, you know, not sleeping at all, working around the clock. And I did feel like something was going to give. Something had to give. And so I hired help. And this was something I didn't want to do. Matt and I didn't want to do it. And my sister was like, you have to hire help. You are a business. Why would you not hire help? And so the reason we were so resistant to it is because we weren't making money in the business yet. I was working very hard in the business, very, very hard from day freaking one. But we weren't making the income that we thought you would need to be making in order to hire an assistant. But we just hired an assistant for 10 hours a week. And that was a game changer for me. And I know a lot of you are thinking, yeah, but I don't even really know what I'm doing yet, or I don't have enough systems in place yet to really be able to hire an assistant. And honestly, me committing and making that decision that I was going to hire an assistant and actually placing an ad put my back up against the wall to go, okay, I've got an interview with my first candidate on Monday. I better figure out what the frick she can do. Like, I placed my back against the wall, and it also put me in a position to go, okay, now I'm investing in myself and in my business. Now I got to get really serious. Now I've got to make sure this works. So, you know, deciding to hire help and just actually going for it before you're ready, before you feel like you're ready to do it, before you feel like you can afford it, is such a great decision. And your first assistant may not work out. It may take a couple to really get it figured out. And you can always hire someone temporarily. You can always say, I'm just looking for someone to help me out between now and the end of the year, or for this month, or for this particular ebook I'm putting together, or for this particular, whatever the freemium is. But I cannot stress enough, you know, or maybe it's even just to have someone come over to your house and watch the kids for a couple hours, a couple days a week. Something to give you that time to breathe and think, because you do need headspace to be creative in this business. You might be thinking, well, I can do it all. I have enough time to do it all, but mentally you may not have enough energy to do it all. And so you may need to hire help. Okay, so that's that. And then as far as monthly systems calendar, I wrote down real quick just kind of like what I do, and it's 10 things. So if you want to write this down, because I didn't know how else to explain it. But number one is, you know, someone had asked, like, how are you inviting to the business, and when are you inviting to the business? And like I think Holly said, I'm inviting to the business every day. That is my aim, is to invite to the business every single day. So whether or not we have a sneak peek, team sneak peek going on, or whether or not I'm hosting a live or whatever I'm doing, every single day I'm inviting to the business, or at least aiming to. Number two, once a month, I'm inviting to my next challenge group. And I usually spend a week or two in that process where I'm kind of specifically focusing on inviting to that next challenge group. And this is just me. This isn't right or wrong, but I do a challenge group, a new one every single month. And any of my customers are welcome to be in my challenge groups. And they can go from one to the next to the next. So I have some people that finish one group and they're like, I'm so excited for the next one to start on Monday. And so they just join that next group. And then others are like, I'm good for now. I'm going to be traveling or whatever. So you know, those are every month. It makes it feel fresh for me to invite to a new group every single month and have a new theme for my group every month, even though we may be just continuing the same program that we were doing in the last group. So that's number two. Number three is that I do a free group about every other month. Now, my free group just stays as it is. It's just called Jenelle's Free Group, but I host different things within that group, and I usually do a 3 or 5 day thing, and I delete all the content so that the next time I do something, it's like a fresh group, but all the people stay in that group. So for example, the one that I did last was called my 3-day metabolism makeover. And whenever I do one of these free groups, whatever it is I create for that group, I give the template to my whole entire team so that they can run and invite to their own free group as well. So with my 3-day metabolism makeover, it was basically just 3 days of learning about all the things that ignite your metabolism or are, you know, slowing your metabolism. So it was just pointing them to the most awesome resources I could find for 3 days. But that gave me an opportunity to bring people into my network that I have not worked with yet, that I have not invited to the business yet, or maybe I have, but to build that trust and relationship further. Number 4, every month I do a new coach training that is 5 days. So my whole downline can invite to this, And it's just, it used to be a month-long thing, and I decided just to hone it into 5 days of the 5 most important things that they need to know. And I felt like that was less overwhelming. So that's what I'm doing with that right now. I call it a 5-day new coach training or a coach restart. So my coaches know, each month that if they're feeling off track or they put this business on the back burner or whatever, each month they know they can jump into one of those 5-day new coach trainings or coach restarts and feel like they're starting all over again if that's what they want to do or need to do. Number 5, every month I do a 24 hours to Emerald training, or sometimes I call it rapid fire to Emerald training. I do it within that same new coach training group. So those people that finish that 5 days, after that 5 days, on the 6th day, some of them are still catching up. On the 7th day, I'm warming them up saying, hey, next up in this group is the Rapid Fire to Emerald or 24 Hours to Emerald training. So they stay right within that group, but I also let the rest of the downline know that if anyone wants that training to get into that group. So I have more people joining that group. Number 6, I do a quarterly push to diamond. I usually call it diamond and beyond because I really don't want them ever thinking about just getting to diamond. I want to give them the training and the foundation to go beyond diamond. I want them to look beyond diamond, but they have to have at least 4 coaches to get into that diamond and beyond training. So basically what I'm doing is, if you think about the flow of it, it's the new coach training, the rapid fire to Emerald, and then the push to diamond all right in a row, so that they always feel like there's something next they can be reaching for. That's something I learned very early on in my business, is always give your coaches what's next. Give them a what's next all the time, something to get excited about. Even if you're just rephrasing it, repackaging it, whatever it is, something that they can get excited about that's next. So that was number 6, the push to diamond or diamond and beyond group. Number 7 is I always have a diamond event at Summit. So there's always a push for, getting back to diamond or achieving diamond for the first time before Summit. Number 8, I do an annual retreat, and I have different criteria for that. It's not just about being diamond. In fact, they don't have to be diamond. I have different criteria for different groups. Like I have certain criteria for my newer coaches to meet. I have certain criteria for my coaches who are like midline coaches, and I have certain criteria for the higher level coaches, so that everyone has to challenge themselves to get on that retreat. And then my elite coaches they're an automatic shoo-in. They get to go on that retreat. Number 9, I do so someone asked about the success pods. I don't really have pods per se that are part of my system, but I do group texts and group message threads as needed. So when I've got something coming up, like I just started a group message thread with some of my newer coaches tonight. Those are kind of as needed. Number 10, lastly, my newer coaches are on an additional team email list. So they get the normal team emails, but they also get an additional team email with special incentives and rewards and tracking for them. So I only do that for the coaches that have joined this year and the year before. And just things that I feel like just my newer coaches need to hear. So that's it, those 10 things. That's kind of my flow. And then what I do is take, all those things and I plug it into my calendar and just kind of reverse engineer. Okay, if this is when I'm going to do my push to diamond, then I got to look at the week before. This is when, people are going to need to qualify by that date. I got to go way back and say how much time do they need to build, to 4 coaches. So reverse engineering with the calendar.
Amazing. You guys, you just had Jenelle Summers tell you how she runs her business. Like gold. And this, what she just said at the very end, the reverse engineering, that's the marketing calendar. It's just being an entrepreneur and saying, okay, this is happening. How many steps before do I need to figure out how to make that happen at that time? So you have to be on top of that. I think a good leader of any team, big or small, is always 3 steps ahead of the team in terms of how are we going to get there? How are we going to maximize this time of our business, that launch of a product, et cetera, et cetera. So this was absolute gold. I'm just going to add on the assistant thing that my husband once said, if it doesn't make you money, someone else can do it for you. And that was all I needed, because a lot of times I think people are confused by assistant in the business, and it could mean for some people that are just starting out that you earn enough income to pay for someone to clean your house, to do your laundry, to do the things that do not make you money, so that you can spend time on your business and with your family, which are your priorities. Things that are not fun. Now, if you enjoy those kinds of things, all power to you. I do not. And that's why one of the main goals of when I started doing this business was all the things that I hate doing, earn enough money to get someone to do it for you so that you can focus on other things. Okay, let's shift into the hot topic tonight, which is onboarding new coaches. So one of our coaches, Kelly Burnham, asked, it was the first question posted, Holly, I'm going to toss it to you. Exact process of onboarding new coaches for success without too much hand-holding. Do you do a mix of videos first, new coach training? How long is it, etc.?
Yeah, so I try to keep it simple. So I don't know if this is going to sound not simple or simple to you guys, but for me, what we do, so someone signs up as a coach and they get a new coach welcome email. And in that email, they get access to our new coach training. I run the new coach training on Thinkific, just the online platform. It is a 14-day training, days 1 through 14. Each day has like a little video associated with it. Now, that being said, these are short, fast videos. And some days, like one day is like, how do you build a share a cart? And it's just the Beachbody video of how you build a share a cart, right? This is very, very simple. So day 1, and this is where, again, I kind of focus them in. Day 1, I have a video welcoming them, and I ask them for their goals. And they're new coaches. They don't know what their goals are. So in that video, I say 99% of the people who join my team want to build a business. If that is you, these are the goals I suggest based on my coaches seeing success. So 1, you're going to hit Success Club every single month. Keep in mind, they just joined as a coach. They don't know what the heck Success Club means. So I'll explain that later in the training. But 1, you're going to hit Success Club every single month, meaning you're going to help 3 people. That's all I say. 2, in month 1, you're going to hit your first rank advancement of Emerald, meaning you are going to sign up at least 2 customers. We already said you're going to help 3 people. So by helping 3 people and hitting Success Club, you're naturally going to hit Emerald. And again, later in the training, we talk about signing people as discount coaches. And your 3rd goal is you will hit Diamond in 90 days. Okay, so you're going to hit Success Club every month. You're going to hit Emerald in 30 days. You're going to hit Diamond in 90 days. And then I ask them to email me their goals back. No one knows any different. So that becomes everyone's goals. Diamond is never a big deal. Emerald is never a big deal. These are the expectations from day 1. So I feel like that helps set the tone like right away when they enter that new coach training. And then literally that new coach training is focused on make your list of 100 people, your 100 warm market people. And then we're going to invite, and then I'm going to show you how to build a share cart. I'm going to tell you how to sign people up as discount coaches. And so it's like super, super simple, right? It is literally, let's get people set up with challenge packs and in a challenge group, just like we did with you. So that is my main focus. Now, I also have a getting started right call that is like every other week for new coaches to hop on and ask questions. And I have like a quick PowerPoint that I run through with them. But again, it's just those basics again, but just giving them the opportunity to hop on with me and ask questions. We have our big team page, and then I do have a new coach team page as well. That is, what year are we in? That's like the 2019 new coaches. So each year there's like a new group of them. And then I have chat threads for like my January, February new coaches, March, April, May, June. So every 2 months, and I add new coaches to that chat thread. So it's great because I'm able to help them. And then as you're adding more coaches, those new coaches are also starting to be able to answer questions and gaining confidence there. But for me, again, it is, they get a new coach welcome email. They're going to get access to our 14-day free training. They are told to get their first personal development book, which I suggest the Slight Edge. That's what I started with. They're given the information on how to sign up for our challenge group, how to, put their name on our challenge group list, get in there. I mean, really, it is about challenge groups, Hidden Success Club, and then Emerald and Diamond. One thing I will say, a lot of people say, well, how are you coaching to Diamond in 90 days? Within that kind of structure. And again, it's because we keep it really simple. So Success Club, I tell my people, sure, Success Club is helping 3 people. But if you want to build a business, a big business, not just like you want to make a couple $100s a month, you need to be hitting at least Success Club 10. That's just 5 people. So if you sign up 5 discount coaches each month, there's 15 discount coaches. Diamond's 12 coaches. I mean, it's 8 and you're 2 emeralds. Literally, you fill in every single coach. Diamond is 12 coaches. That's it. So by saying, hey, listen, guys, you said you want to build a 6-figure business. We're going to help 5 people every month. And we're just naturally going to build you to emerald and to diamond. This isn't a big deal. And it's just the progression of this business. That is really how we move forward. There's not a ton of big, when I first started, there were big emerald groups and big diamond groups and big new coach trainings. No, you hop on, you do the new coach training. You have the opportunity to hop on and getting started, right call, ask questions. And that's kind of my flow.
I love it. I love how matter of fact it is. I love how you are telling them what their goals are. I do that as well with my new coaches. And I'm just going to throw something that's been helping me this year with my new coaches and hitting Success Club, hitting that, that first challenge pack in the first month that helps with elite points, which is in the new coach welcome. I challenge them to do that in their first 2 days as a coach. I want you to help one person. I call it the Help One initiative. I'm all big into these movements and things. So I'm I want you to join the Help One initiative. And this is in my welcome email. And that means that you're going to help your first person in your first 2 days as a coach. And that, it helps in building their confidence because they get a quick win. And then I also incentivize Success Club in their first month. So I'll do the intent bracelets or something that will say, I appreciate your hard work in your first month. And then my Push to Emerald call, I'm going to plug that. That's happening tomorrow night, you guys. I'm going to host it for this group. I'm doing an Emerald Push Rally that I do for my teams, and I've had the most emeralds pop this year because I'm doing them consistently. So tomorrow I'm going to host it for all of us, and I invite all my coaches. In fact, even discount coaches, I'm just listen, just jump on. I do it in 30 minutes. So no 3-day trainings. I don't know if you guys remember Jenelle and Holly back in the day, 30 days push to emeralds. And it was what in the world? No, in 30 minutes, yeah. I'm going to teach you how to get to emeralds. So that's been helping. Number 2 thing that's been helping in my onboarding process is I do this thing called Off to the Races. So if you put points, every single month I do this. And this is all my coaches, whether you're brand new or an old dog, it doesn't matter. Off to the Races, if you sell a challenge pack between the 1st and the 5th of the month, you get into our monthly Success Club push thread. And everybody has access to that does that throughout the month. So as people are putting points on the board, they're getting added to this push thread. And I call it something funny every single month, Rocktober, November to Remember, whatever it is. But what that has done is it meshes my new coaches with my veteran coaches, and they start to feed off the old coaches that are hitting Success Club fast. And what has happened is, sure, there's going to be coaches that don't hit Success Club every single month, but they're hitting more likely than not if they get into that thread early in the month. So it's just something that I've done, and I've seen it work with my sister's team. I gave her this tip 3 months ago. She started doing it, and she's about to lock in Premier because she's had this new wave of new coaches hitting Success Club because I'm in her thread. She has her top coaches in the thread, and we're egging on her new coaches to hit Success Club along with us. In my business, and this could not apply to Janelle's, to Holly's team, I do not have a lot of luck when I pair my new coaches together. I feel like if one goes down, they all go down.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, if one has a crappy
company.
month and has a bad mindset, I'm like, oh my God, don't, like they start like, yeah, me too. And this sucks. And so what I do is I just keep energy high with adding them to where my rock stars are, where my older coaches are, where my, my people that hit success consistently are. And that has kept them, number one, feel part of the team, feel really engaged, and meeting the leaders of the network to mimic their behavior. So I'll just add that. Jenelle, if you wanted to talk about your on.
Well, I just wanted to ask about that. That's brilliant. I love that. So I just have a question. When you add them to this thread, once they've achieved, you said if they sell a challenge pack between the 1st and the 5th, they get added to this thread. And then are they indefinitely in the thread, or do you remove them if they fall off track in the future months, or they're always in?
So I'll say that once they hit success, they stay in that thread for the month.
Okay.
Every month I start a new thread.
Oh, okay.
Every single month, at the end of the month, I'm like, you guys, great job. I'll post in the group. I'll post it in our group too, but I'll post in the thread our final list of successful earners. I'll congratulate and I'll say, this is now closed. And then on the 5th, in my personally sponsored page, I do this with just my personally sponsored team. I start the rate, and I put a GIF with the horse races every single time, like off to the races with all the people that have points on the board. I start the thread, and as others start putting points, they get added. We celebrate them as they come in, and then we just share top, practices, what's working, how's this working. Someone will post motivational videos, and that's our pod for the month. At the end of the month, it closes. We start a new one the next month. It's really helped me this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. Yeah. No, I mean, as far as my onboarding process, I don't really have a whole lot to add because I think that mine is very similar to Holly's actually. The only difference is that I have a website created and a training site created where I have a tab on there that says new coaches start here. And so I've got trainings there, but I let that fall a little out of date. I really need to update it because I have been relying more on my 5-day new coach training group that I created and using the website, the training site, as kind of a backup plan. But, I first of all, when someone joins, I do some kind of personal welcome, like a voice memo or a text. I always ask them to text me once they've actually joined so that I've got that communication with them right away. So some type of voice memo just saying, do I send the email to this email, like confirming everything, and then I send their welcome email, and I try and send something. I've really narrowed it down to be a shorter email, but why I think they'd be great in the business. I give them what their site is right away. I say, this is your site for someone to join you or buy from you. So I look that up ahead of time. I let them know that they can text me anytime, that they can't let me down. This is going to take time. And I include an about me form in that welcome email. And I let them know, once you've gone through this welcome email, you've printed it and you've created a notebook for yourself, email me back with your about me and we'll move to the next steps. And so then when they email me back with their about me, I can read more about their story and get to know them more. Then comes the second email. And in that second email, that's where I go over, here's the typical goals of a go-getter. And same as Holly, as far as the goals that I list for them. I say, this is completely your business and you do what you want, but this is what the typical go-getter on my team does. So I set that out and I say, please email me back with what your goals are. But also in that second email, I give them a few more trainings. I give them a graphic of the new coach checklist. I give them a graphic for social media do's and don'ts. And I give them a graphic for post ideas, just to start off as a new coach, a whole list of ideas that they can have. I also in that second email say, this is when our next new coach GSR meeting will be. So I do a GSR, I call it a GSR follow-up Zoom call every week. If I don't have coaches getting on that week, then I don't do it, but I aim to do one every week. And then I get them in the 5-day new coach training, the 24 hours Emerald, and that whole thing.
Perfect. Okay, I think we did that whole section of coach onboarding. I hope you guys found that helpful. Let's jump, because we only have 6 minutes and I think we went over. But anyway, to leadership. Leadership, right? This is always a tricky one. I'm going to start with how to effectively lead your team as it grows, how to motivate, inspire them without overwhelming them, How can you tell if someone deserves your time and when to push back if you're not showing you they're working but ask for help? How to give constructive feedback. I think all of us can address this. I'll just say this, that you guys, it's important that you don't get into management mode in your business. And Doug Moss taught us this at our retreat recently. If you are a coach level coach, then 100% of your time is clearly on your personal business and growing your team. That has to be your main priority. So that's 100% of your time. If you are an emerald coach and even a diamond coach, 90% of your time should be growing your personal business. 10% of your time should be your team. A lot of times people get to diamond and they flip-flop. Now they get into management mode. 90% of the time I'm balancing these 8 people that I've sponsored, and then 10% of my time I'm trying to find new people. You can't build a big business like that. You can't build any business like that. Your main responsibility is your business, not your coach's business. It is your responsibility to hit goals. It is your responsibility to grow your income. It is your responsibility. So make sure that all of your, the majority of your productive time is on finding new people. Now, how to effectively manage it? I split my time. There are days where I am 100% focused on building my challenge groups and recruiting new coaches, and I'm not as engaged with my team. I do call it Team Tuesday, and on Tuesdays I'm really in my threads. I'm really like planning, schedules and team calls and activities, so that I don't get overwhelmed day to day. I think that if we spend too much time in mentoring our teams, it distracts us from growing our personal businesses. So just be careful with that. So Holly, do you have any tips on leading your team and without overwhelming them?
No, I mean, I think what you said is really important. And I think sometimes we get in our head about like, I need to help everyone. And one thing I will say, Kristina said, you need to focus on continuing to grow your business, to hit your own goals, to grow income. That is not just for you. You are showing your team what is possible. So if I had hit elite and was like, gosh, I got to hold on to these 5 girls and I'm going to run with them. And those are my 5 elite coaches and then I'm set for life. And I never went anywhere past elite. Like, what would my team think? If I don't lead from the front in terms of Success Club points, I have to set that pace for my team. If I want girls hitting big numbers, I need to show them what's possible. So that was a mindset shift for me when I was like, went from that, how do I manage things? Well, being a leader is also showing others what is possible in this business. And then like Kristina said, there are seasons. And so that is something I look at. And I mean, they're daily, weekly, monthly seasons in terms of where is my focus, but it is having a marketing calendar, or like every quarter I have a marketing calendar. And that helps me also see what is coming up, not just for me, but for my team. And where's my team going to need additional resources and need additional help and leadership. So right now, we're 9 days from that November 21st Premier Elite Star Diamond deadline. This is my time to mentor my coaches to help them level up. Now, what else am I doing right now? I'm running my Girl Boss apprenticeship. I'm still recruiting my own coaches, but I'm providing, again, resources for my team to level up. So my team's leveling up. I'm making sure I'm moving my business forward. And I know over these next 9 days, additional hours are going to be set aside for my coaches. So again, I think in this business, one of the best things you can do is organize your time. Know what is coming. Treat this like a business. It's not just having, your business activity trackers and checking off that you sent 10 invites. What were those 10 invites for? Be very, very intentional with your invites and with your time. And then stepping up as a leader will come naturally. And you're going to be able to run with your girls, provide them resources while continuing to move your business forward.
Perfect. And then Jenelle, you wanted to talk about how to manage disappointment when people quit.
Yeah, and I just want to just add to that, Holly, too, that, I think we feel like when we bring people on our team, at least for me, I'm a people pleaser. And so I want to see people have success so badly. And I think we put that on ourselves as our responsibility, that their success is our responsibility. And it's not. Our responsibility is to equip them. That's what we do. We equip people, and they have to build the business themselves. I mean, we can be there to equip them, but it's their responsibility to grab hold of those resources and make this happen and take initiative to do something with it. So yeah, as far as handling the defeat when when you have coaches that quit, it is tough, but you have to realize that that is actually a blessing in disguise. That is someone that obviously wasn't committed and is not, now it's saving you time, because now this is someone that has made a decision and has moved on, instead of someone that you feel, maybe guilty about, that's not having success or is complaining or is draining you. That's going to save you time, that this person has made that decision to move on. But I will say this, there are a lot of coaches, at least in my business, I don't know if you guys have this experience as well, that rejoin. I have coaches that rejoin all the time. I have some coaches that have rejoined my business, our team. There's one that's rejoined 5 times. I'm not even kidding you. There might even be 2 that technically have rejoined 5 times. So you just never, now I'm not saying that's ideal by any means, but there are some who rejoin a second time and really do something, with the business, or even a third time. They just weren't in the right headspace the first time. So I always, when someone leaves the business, I ask for their feedback. I say, what was it that made you want to quit? What can I do better? What could I have done better, if anything? So definitely learn from, someone quitting, and also realize that it's probably a blessing in disguise.
Amen. I mean, this is a topic that is hard for new coaches, so we relate to you guys. Don't think that we're here now saying, don't work. Like, we've been there. We were diamond coaches once and felt devastated when our coaches quit. But understand that, not everybody is meant to build this business. Not everyone will build this business. Not everyone likes the same restaurants. Not everyone likes the same clothing brands. So it's just a matter of life. And like we said earlier, it's your responsibility to keep building your business. But Jenelle, I think you said something so important about coaches rejoining. That is a testament to your team's culture. And so if we can touch on that, because I think that even a coach that is building this business right now, that is an emerald building to diamond, or a new diamond building from there, that culture is a huge part of what we do. And whether they stay or not stay, I think that if coaches are coming back to your team, it's a testament to the environment and the community that is being built. So always keep that in mind, you guys. I truly believe, because in our team, Diesel Nation, culture and community has been always my top core value and priority in building. We believe everyone's important, whether you're a discount coach or an elite coach, that you keep those core values in mind, and you won't feel as devastated when you've given it your all, and it is just a decision that they have made in their life. It is not your fault, and you will be here to stay, and just accepting that there will be people that come and go, but know that if you have built a strong culture, they'll come back. I feel that too. So many people have rejoined our team in the last year. It's mind-blowing. So I just want to say that's a testament to your team's culture, and that everyone should prioritize that as they build their business. Okay. It is 10:03, you guys. We've been on for a long time. I truly hope that this was helpful. We hit almost every single question, which is crazy. I don't know what the other Q&As are going to do for the rest of the group, but I cannot thank Holly enough, Jenelle enough. Thank you guys for all staying to the duration of the call. Can we do a quick boomerang or something so we can
Yes.
Everybody get your phones out. All right, what should we do? Peace sign, or I don't know, something. Okay, I'm gonna count to 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ooh! Awesome, you guys. I'll post this recording so you can tag your coaches in it. You can also share it. It's okay. Share it with your teams. Those that are not in the VIP Boss Babes group if you think it's going to be helpful. Everybody have a great night. Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Holly. See you guys later.
Thanks, everyone.